Hi Taurus, and welcome to your September 2017 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to give you guys hopefully another amazing reading for your month ahead. And I'm so glad that you guys were able to join me this month on my channel because it does mark the 1-year anniversary of me uploading readings in the format that I do. And you know when you just have that one zodiac sign that you seem to always be surrounded by in your life, or that you have these experiences with and you're like, oh, of course you're that zodiac sign. Well, for me, Taurus is that sign a lot of the time. And I can actually honestly say that if it weren't for Taurus or Taurus people from my past, I don't think I would be here. I don't think that I would have the spiritual knowledge to input onto my channel. And I don't think that I would have had some of the traumatic but also beautiful experiences that I have had that have caused my spiritual ascension. So it is directly catalyzed and because of Taurus that I'm probably here right now, and that I can be able to say that I have almost 20,000 subscribers who follow me and who work with me and who listen to my rants and my spiritual discussion, and who have been able to help me shift into a place where I have an amazing full-time career that does so much for not me, and it's not about me, but that I have a career that I feel like I can help people, and that I feel like I can make a difference, that I feel like my voice and my knowledge through some difficult experiences and also wonderful experiences can help me to help other people, and for me to be able to make a majorly just living doing it. It's been something that I can't even begin to extend gratitude towards. So thank you guys so much for that. And you guys, as I said, have been responsible for a lot of my views and likes and readings. And specifically, there's just such a connection that I have because I know that you guys are in this exact same place too. I know that as a Scorpio myself, that the Taurus people that I'm so, I don't know, just wired into for some reason that I can't really explain. I know that you've come to a place where you're grateful, that you've come to a place where through a difficult experience you've been able to make something. Through a difficult experience you've been able to manifest, and you've been able to change your surroundings. And you've really come to that place, I feel, in September where you're thinking, are these the surroundings that I want in my life? Is this where I need to be? And it feels to me like a very kind of emotional, and I don't want to call it melodramatic, but I feel like it's kind of been that way for me. And I know that if it's been that way for me, it's probably been that way for you guys. And you're kind of thinking, is this my aesthetic? Is this my life's work? Is this what I'm kind of trying to create? I feel that there's a new thing that you want to do, or a new experience that you want to have, but you almost feel as if your history cannot create it, or you feel as if something is not, again, wired correctly to enforce this new reality that you're wanting to create. You've been thinking a lot about mistruths. You've been thinking a lot about the way in which you can control your reality. You've been thinking how the truth, the lies, or the expectations form your reality, or how they did form your reality. You've been thinking about how people from your past potentially formed your reality, and you're honestly gaining a whole new perception of what it's like to be alone, what it's like to experience solitude, and how what you do helps and hurts other people. It's almost too much about other people this month for you guys. I don't know. There's some kind of difficulty to look within here because you guys have been on that journey for such a long time and you've really done amazingly. You guys are kind of almost a poster child type of energy for being able to go within and being able to, I don't know, I want to say prioritize that which is within, and sort of, not really need to prioritize other people or other things, which has been so wonderful to see for you guys, because you guys have sort of always been a martyr energy for a long time at least, and always been sacrificing yourself for the good of other people, and always getting joy from seeing other people succeed. And I think throughout the last year, Taurus has been able to think, okay, wait, I've got to look within, and I've got to be able to make myself succeed. I've got to be able to do something for me type of energy, which has been just, again, makes me proud to see that you guys have been there, And I think it's really been a gift to humanity to watch you guys be able to manifest something in your exterior that reflects something that's on your interior. Wow. And I think because what Taurus has really become to me is like a symbol. Like Taurus energy for me because when I read, I get into the energy of the sign itself. Like, I am a Scorpio at the end of the day, but I feel that when I do my readings, I become a Taurus or I become a Leo for whoever I'm reading for. And when I shift into the Taurus energy, I feel that I'm a symbol for like the greater good, or that I am on a plane or a wavelength that as a Scorpio myself, I'm not yet on. I feel that as Taurus, I've like come to a place where nobody else really is and nobody else really understands, but it's above in a way, and it's like looking down and it's not understanding why other people haven't gotten here yet. I feel that you guys are very lonely. I feel that you guys, despite having created new relationships and despite having created new wonderful opportunities for yourself, you are lonely and you are disconnected because of how above other people you are, and how much, and it's almost something that's like making my voice like waver, and it's like making me something that's emotional, or something that's making me emotional, like my words aren't even working now. And like ever since I knew that I was about to do your reading this month, just marking what it is for Taurus in general and the angles that the planets and stars have been creating to you, I've known like this is going to be kind of a hard reading to do, because like I'm like my arms are like shaking and I'm just kind of a mess. But what happened basically, Taurus, was you had the huge Great American Solar Eclipse on August 21st in Leo. Specifically for you Taurus who were born in the later part of Taurus, like I would say, I guess maybe from like May 13th to like May 20th, 21st, whenever the cusp is, in the year that you were born, that's the Taurus who are going to feel this like most strongly, but all Taurus will feel it. It's that really strong square angle that has initiated a complete self-transformation within you. Something or somebody from your life or experience was eclipsed out, and then that void that was left over was filled very directly, but you're still not catching it yet. You're still not realizing what it is. And the only danger in September for Taurus is you have this void, you have this very open space. What are you going to fill it with? What are you going to put in what is now new? It feels very easy for me to think that Taurus could be very prone to filling this void up with something that weighs you back down to the rest of humanity. Because I'm talking about like Taurus being above and looking down and thinking, wow, it's lonely up here. I'm reaping a lot of rewards. I'm reaping a lot of benefits, but it would be really easy for me to jump back down to where I was before. And it would be really easy for me to deny this evolution. And that I feel is the worst case scenario for September. But I also feel that if you did that, you would like jump back up really quickly as like a new person. So it's almost an energy as well that feels like you're it's like the opposite of rock in a hard place. It's like it's a win-win situation in a way. But you can just make a lot quicker progress if you stay where you are, and that is above other people in general right now. You have a lot of options in September. It's strange to see because most people had a lot of options over the entire summer, and you guys felt a little bit more pigeonholed. But I feel that now, as the rest of humanity starts to move into a place where they have less options, the doors are opening up for you. Again, you're quite separate from the rest of humanity right now, and you're quite inaccessible to a lot of humanity. So it's like the doors are opening up for you. Maybe you're thinking about moving. Maybe you're thinking about going somewhere else in the world. You're also maybe not satisfied with what your career is or where your job is, because there's something unintuitive about your experience right now. There's something lacking in calibration or easiness. It all feels very forced or stitched together unnaturally. So this month also becomes a month where you start to understand what is intuitive for you, what comes together more easily and less unnaturally. And a month, honestly, where it's specifically that, a month where you understand honesty and where you understand what vulnerability is through honesty, and where you read kind of like, okay, so there's a similarity to Aquarius here, because Aquarius also had this, like where you're redefining your idea of trust, where you're redefining the integration of trust and honesty. I feel like a lot of you are being very reflectionary right now, maybe looking back at old pictures or looking back at old memories and thinking where the trust was, where the honesty was, where the lies were, and how maybe that fueled really nice experiences, but that those experiences could never last. And because I think a lot of you have been connected to like disillusionment and how that created happiness, and really traumatized by that, like maybe seeing how people lied to you in the past, or just the nature of lies in general, and how you might have felt very happy during that time, not knowing what lies were doing in your life, or not knowing why the honesty couldn't be there. And you're really having a big spiritual ascension through this whole ideal, and it's something that like I feel is still kind of undecided, like what that is for you and what that becomes, but it's definitely the specific point of your experience in September is understanding honesty and trust, and as that relates to the past, and being able to make something of it, and jumping into the present and the future with more integrity, and honoring yourself and honoring your integrity, and realizing how by doing that you're kind of honoring the greater good of humanity too. It's so funny to see how connected to humanity Taurus is right now, and again, you guys are magical, and I think that seeing you is very magical to most people right now. It's like when you're out or you're just doing things or like grocery shopping or something, just people seeing you is causing like spiritual evolution and causing, I don't know, like a magnetism type of thing. I feel that you're very attractive right now, and I feel that you're also very unattainable right now. So this will often cause people to either be very obsessed with you or very wanting of your energy, or also for people to like want to tear you down because they're jealous. Like there can be a lot of jealousy in these types of cycles, I think, for you. So you have to make sure that you're not too affected by that. I feel that affectations can also happen here. Yeah, that's a big one for you guys this month. You can become very easily affected by ideals or standards or needs of the past that you never could honor that maybe you can now. And it's very easy to see you jump into a place where you're like, I don't know how, I don't want to sound too crazy here. I don't know. It's easy to see you, I don't know, being that person who's like taking selfies in the corner of a store or something, and you're literally standing there for like 25 or 30 minutes trying to capture the perfect selfie, and everybody realizes that you're gorgeous and that you're attractive, and they get kind of jealous, but then it's really easy for them to be like, oh my gosh, look at how anal that person is, or look at how affected they are, type of thing. It's very easy to see you as the type of person who I don't know, is like standing at their car, or like they realize that someone has like hit their car in a parking lot or something, or barely touched it, or barely put a scratch, and you're like having a temper tantrum about it, and you're like obsessing and making your whole entire life about this scratch or something. It's very easy for you to be hyper focused on unimportant details, or like blemishes on your skin or something. Maybe you're the person who's in a Sephora or something, and you have like one pimple on your face, and you're like freaking out, and you're going to the employees and you're like, oh my gosh, I need a whole entire skincare thing right now. I'm going to spend, I have a $500 budget. My skin has gone to complete. It's like a very obsessive type of energy where you're very only hyper focused on like the blemishes of your life. Like there's a blemish in your life and you're focusing on it, and people around you are thinking, oh my God, I can't handle this energy. In reality, this type of energy is the future of humanity, but your ego is interpreting it in a way that makes it too hyper focused on the unimportant. So you can also be seen as the person on like a dating app or something who is like really desperately reaching for something and conveying some kind of reality that is not real. Maybe you're on like Instagram or something, and it's very obvious that your photos are extremely filtered right now. It could be, and it's just that type of thing. And for maybe some of you, maybe this sounds like a bit of a reach, or it's not really resonating, but for some of you, this is like specifically what's happening, and like people are just not having it. It would be a good month to disconnect a bit from social media or anything that has to do with cameras or like Neptune ruled things. So we're talking like cameras, social media, YouTube, any kind of non-reality based experience is not such good territory for you, because where you're at in humanity is very unattainable, and those things are very naturally unattainable. So it's like a double negative type of energy where you're just not a human in these types of scenarios, and people project bad energies on you. So beware of this. That was kind of just a major tangent, I know, and I was just kind of like letting it come out because I didn't really understand the energy that I was on, but hopefully it resonated for some of you. I want to go ahead and start looking at this reading from the week to week and see more specifically what I'm feeling here. Week number 1, you guys have 7 of Wands reversed, or you're done by 5 of Swords reversed. That's hard. And this, you start to see kind of how this month is so beautiful because of the difficulties. the rest of September is much better than the first week, but you're still picking up the pieces from the solar eclipse. I don't know. There's some kind of bloodlust in the first week where you're kind of very connected to any kind of ideas of seeing bad things happen to other people, where you... It's a strange energy that I'm catching onto there. It's not... Because Taurus is one of those signs who, like, doesn't like to see bad things happen to people, or is very like timid. Like if you guys start to bleed, like you're the type who can like faint if you have your blood taken or things like that. So you have a very small penchant generally for any kind of difficult experiences like that, or your gruesome things are not so good for Taurus. But there's something about that that's changing within you. Like something really gruesome has happened to you. I just heard that some of you have dealt with like a rape type of experience, or are coping from that type of thing, and that's a general energy. Not saying that many of you have had to deal with that, which it could have happened obviously, but you feel taken advantage of in some way, or you feel like forced upon. Something feels very forced about your experience, and some kind of person is pushing you to enjoy this, or to enjoy being forced to do something, or being forced in some kind of relationship. The inability to leave a relationship, very strong control dynamics. Some of you are just in a very controlling relationship, or having thoughts back to one that was that way. And that's hard for you guys, because I think that the worst case scenario is to start to have an energetic high off of feeling forced, or like forcing other people to do anything. That's the potential of a change in energy for you guys. And you have to really access more integrity, and you have to access like a younger version of yourself that wanted good things to happen to people. There's definitely, I don't want to say like a lower entity type of experience, but what tends to happen when you're elevated so high above humanity is it's very easy to fall, and it's very easy to access some kind of energy that makes you go really low. So you have the only temptation for that happens in the first week, and you just have to be careful, because we do ultimately kind of pull in energetic experiences for ourselves. And you see the symbols on, or the pictures on Seven of Wands and Five of Swords there. They're both very defensive. And Five of Swords is somebody who has stolen other people's hard-earned resources and has imposed their energy on them, and is looking back and smirking and happy to know that they're causing discord in other people's lives. Now, I think that a lot of you have experienced that from somebody else, and now it's just a matter of healing, and it's a matter of going into solitude and getting past that. And my heart goes out to you. My heart goes out to you, because it is that type of thing that can cause people to choose to lower their energetic evolution. And ultimately, these types of energies also lead you to a place where you can be an amazing person, where you can be a star, or where you can be a celebrity type of energy. It's sort of that type of experience of like a damsel energy, where you become saved and propped up by somebody. That can happen in September, but you are pushed to do something by yourself, Taurus. In general, in the first week, you have more aggression. It could be as simple as that. You could be upset. You could be seeking revenge. Some of you could be. You could be... Okay, because some of you are on higher ground, and you are facing a lot of opposition. And there's a temptation to show them just how strong you are now, because you're feeling like you're not as weak as you used to be. So you could show very clearly your enemies or your opposition just how strong you are, type of thing. It's a very egocentric type of thing. But you also know that gives you nothing now. You also know that at your elevated place, that if you do that, you've just done it, and then it's just that, and then you just have to deal with it, then you have to deal with the consequences. So there's like a bound feeling, or a constrained feeling, based on just not really being able to honor your ego in the way that you used to be able to. And that can take a lot of forms. It's not necessarily so dramatic as I'm making it out to be, but it's just the nature of this energy, and it can come out in very mundane, casual ways. But just understand that the first week is probably the only week where things can really be difficult or go wrong. So find your integrity, and find your want for positive abundance and energy, because if you find that, that's what you'll attract. Second week, you guys have Two of Wands rooted down by Four of Cups reversed. This is really beautiful because I think that you're getting options here. You might have an option to move in with somebody. You might have an option to start a new relationship. I've also been interpreting Two of Wands now as like being on your phone a lot, because he's like holding the world in his hand, and it's like you're bored, or you're just like always on social media, always seeing what everybody else is doing, not focusing on yourself. Maybe not wanting to be alone. This could be a weird relationship with solitude and being alone in the second week. You could be looking back at old pictures, looking back at old people from your past on your phone or something. And again, the Two of Wands traditionally is having the world in your hands, being able to choose where you're going, having time to, and money and prestige so that you don't have to be working all the time, but you just have options. And that's it traditionally. And I feel like in our culture right now, sitting on your couch, being on your phone, that's sort of the same kind of ideal. And maybe you guys are planning a trip. Maybe you're planning to go somewhere. But you could just be checking like social media too much, or checking dating apps too much or something. There's something about Taurus that really wants to be with people right now. I don't know what it is. So do keep that in mind, because that's rooted down by Four of Cups reversed. It's like you can't be alone with yourself. Why can't you be alone with yourself, Taurus? You got to start to be comfortable with being you, not having a screen to distract you all the time, not having work to distract you all the time. Could you just sit for a minute and without some means of distraction? Why is that so uncomfortable? Because that is something else that's forming within you. That this push in evolution has created a being within you that is beautiful and nice to be around, and you have to start introducing yourself to this new version of yourself. In the third week, you guys have the Empress rooted down by Knight of Pentacles reversed. A new relationship could start here. Having the Empress and the Magician together often represents the potential beginning of a new relationship, and also powerful, energetic expression. So it's like through this time you're just really magnetic, because that's how relationships start, and that's how we pull people in, is by being so energized and so just energetically expressive that people catch on to that and they magnetize to us. Or at least that's how we pull in higher evolution relationships. Lower evolved relationships can come from the opposite. But the Empress rooted down by Knight of Pentacles reversed says to me that you could meet somebody at your work, or you could meet somebody who is of a very similar nature to you, because Knight of Pentacles is a male earth sign energy, or a masculine earth sign energy. Or it could also say that you're wanting some more diversity in your relationships. You're wanting to attract somebody who's of a different type of nature, because that is in the reverse. For the female Taurus out there, you're very fertile right now, and it would be very easy to become pregnant. But also for the male Taurus as well, watch who you're with, because your energy is very fertile as well. So it's very easy to become pregnant or to impregnate during this time. It's also very easy to give people something of an expectation that you can't fulfill. On the positive side, you can create wonderful businesses here. You can restart your projects. You can, because that energy of fertility and birthing something new comes in all sectors of your life. Your energy is just wonderful for new things. But you can also give people expectations here that you can never meet. Like, maybe you have to be careful for exaggerating. You have to, like, maybe you have a really good job and you make a really nice amount of money, but you think that you're about to get a promotion, so you just tell people that you make that amount of money now because you know that you're about to get it. And then people start to get this unrealistic idea of you. You can also tend to play yourself up really highly during this time, which is good, because Taurus has struggled so much with confidence. You are getting a new injection of confidence here, which makes me happy to see. But honesty is good. Remember, this is a month where you're reassessing honesty and trust. So it would be nice to have confidence based on what you are. It would be really beautiful to see that within you. Fourth week, you guys have the Magician reversed, rooted down by Page of Wands reversed. This to me represents eavesdropping and hearing things that you weren't supposed to hear, or coming to understandings that other people didn't expect you to realize. The Magician reversed almost always represents lies or deception or cheating. And then Page of Swords tends to represent, hearing things or listening in on conversations that you didn't expect to hear. It's a funny kind of phenomenon there. And I don't really think that it's necessarily, for those of you Taurus who are in relationships right now, it isn't necessarily saying that you're being cheated on or that the lies are there. For some of you it is, but this to me comes from the past, because you've had this major soul evolution and this new lifestyle of honesty and truth. So I think that by this clicking for you and by you understanding what honesty and truth generally is right now, you realize how it was in the past, and you realize like how it actually was. Like you realize, wow, that person really lied to me a lot, or wow, I never realized what the truth could have been, type of thing. And then the worst case scenario here is for you to be upset at yourself or to try to, go into some kind of egomaniacal thing where you prove to yourself that you were the truth or you were the experience of love and devotion, type of thing. It would be good to see you just let it click and realize what happened, and then think in your integrity, what would somebody with really good integrity do in this situation? Is this a situation that needs to be addressed? Is this a situation that just needs to kind of die out and let the momentum move on its own? Because, and just ever since, I would say for the last few months of my readings that I've done for Taurus, I've seen this evolution start to happen within you guys where you have a completely new perception of honesty and truth. And the universe is supporting that by giving you experiences where you have to react to circumstances that evoke this new transformation. For this reason, you can be surrounded by people who lie. You can be surrounded by people who don't conform to your idea of truth. And you can be tested, and you can, oftentimes you can see people who falsely give you the truth, or who give you the truth as some kind of weapon or some kind of vehicle to motivate lies of the future. And through that, you have to be able to see it. You have to perceive it, and you have to not be lazy isn't the right word, but what used to happen with Taurus, I feel, is that you used to very easily succumb to finding comfort in not asking questions or not investigating something or taking people for their word. That was something that was a very nice thing for you, but now it's just not quite that way anymore. Now you're sensing that you have to be a little bit more investigative, and you have to look at things for what they really actually were. And through that, you no longer stand at the top of humanity looking down, but rather you start to attract people who are at your level, because they do exist, into your life. And you start to form relationships, whether they be platonic, familial, or romantic relationships, that evoke a higher level of truth, because humans will lie, humans will deceive, and humans will be delusional. And you, Taurus, can relate very specifically to that energy, because that's been your transformation as of late. And it's beautiful to watch you become something that turns that whole idea on its head, as you are kind of the future of humanity right now. And you're just at a kind of a strange in-between phase where you're sort of bridging the gap of what you used to be and who you're going to be in the future. So I have so enjoyed providing this reading for you guys. I hope that it made sense, because this was kind of a new level of reading for me. I feel like I don't really remember much of what I've said. It's sort of just been an open channeling experience. So comment below if you have any questions, or if you have any contributions or understanding for me on what I'm getting onto, because I feel like I sort of went around the whole entire subject and maybe didn't quite get to the core of it. So if any of you have any contributions to what I've been saying here as a Taurus, of what this evolution is within you, as I feel it is something amazing, be sure to comment that below. Also, if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can do so in the middle of the page right now. I have a lot of new content coming out at the end of this year, and also probably into September and October. And if you guys would like to subscribe to my channel, or hit the bell to the right of the subscribe button as well to get notified when I upload, I would be so appreciative of that. You guys have been an amazing, amazing network for me during this time of my channel. I have evolved so much through you, and I hope to continue being able to provide you with good spiritual content for the future to come. Much love. Bye.